Hi! So I made a game in the Desmos graphing calculator. This is Don't Touch Red, a game I made about 3 years ago but recently optimized and remastered. Your goal is to click the gray ending in each level while trying not to click on the red obstacles that get in your way. You have 3 lives per level, but if you lose all 3 it's back to the beginning. It starts out pretty simple but gets pretty hard pretty quickly. There's also animated backgrounds, colorblind support, a built-in speedrun timer, and a 1 life challenge mode if you feel inclined. Oh, and this was all made with math expressions and functions. This video is just going to serve as an overview for the game itself. The explanation video will come later. I just figured trying to both introduce the game and also explain all of this probably wouldn't be a good idea. If you want to play the game for yourself, there's a link to it in the description. This video will mention some tips for a few of the levels, so if you'd prefer to do it without help, then I'd recommend trying it out for yourself. I'd say it's around a 10 to 20 minute game to beat depending on skill level, but the whole thing could be done in under 2 minutes. I tried to optimize it as best as I could, so hopefully it can run well on most devices. If it's running slow, you can go to the settings and lower the circle resolution to make it a bit better. So now the game itself. Level 1 just serves as an introduction to how the game works. Level 2 is where the first moving obstacles appear. The first 5 levels generally aren't too bad, but level 5 is the first one that tends to be a bit of a roadblock for people. This checkerboard pattern may look really confusing at first. Paying attention to a single square and tracking it helps a lot though. Level 6 introduces the game's first gimmick, being the blue key system. In order to remove the dark red area and beat the level, you have to click each of the blue circles and clear them out beforehand. If you thought every level was going to be beaten with a single click, here's where that ends. The cool thing about making a game in a graphing calculator is that I could play around with using math functions as game elements, like this level that uses sine waves as obstacles. This was actually from me making a mistake in writing the equations, which is why they look that way. I liked it better than my original idea, so I kept it. Level 8 is pretty standard conceptually, but the levels are definitely getting harder from here on out. Level 9 is another case of using math functions as an obstacle, being a spiral. This is also around where people start to notice a bug that isn't really a bug at all. See, sometimes it might seem like the game drops inputs when you click on things. This actually comes from how Desmos detects inputs. For clickable objects, it only registers if you click down and release the button. This means that if you click something, it moves off your cursor, and then you release, it doesn't go through, so light clicks are usually the best strategy. Tangent aside, level 10 is a quick timing test, and then it's on to level 11. Level 11 introduces another mechanic, and is where the game really opens up. Green shapes act as switches that when clicked cause other objects to move for a short period of time. Now, not only is timing needed, but precision in moving your mouse is also a factor. The next level goes further with this, combining the key system with the switches. If you're really fast, you can get this all in one cycle, but it's pretty difficult. Not all of the switches control the same thing. Level 13 introduces what I like to call chaining switches. When you click the top one, the bottom one moves, and when you click that one, the gray circle moves. Chaining these switches together means you have to do multiple inputs in pretty quick succession. Level 14 tends to be another small roadblock for people. It's pretty long compared to a lot of the levels so far, since you have to get 5 keys using the switch. Doing them one at a time is generally advised. It's pretty easy to get impatient and go for multiple at a time, which is where a lot of people mess up. Level 15 uses more of the chaining mentioned earlier, this time being 4 clicks in a row. Taking a break from the green switches and doing a standard blue key section. By the way, if you lose all lives on a level, you technically don't have to start from the beginning. There's a level select on the main menu that unlocks levels as you go. If you want to experience the game without having to start over on each failed attempt, you can use it to quickly get back to where you were. Keep in mind that the game does keep track of if you started from the beginning and will tell you on the win screen. So if you want to go for a true run, you have to beat the game without it. Level 17 was meant as a quick mouse precision test, having a large distance to cross and a small target to click. If you're playing on a trackpad, sorry, and if you're playing on mobile, you can kinda cheese this by using 2 hands. Yeah, balancing the game for different devices wasn't really doable, but hopefully having a smaller screen helps with making it a bit more difficult. Yeah, I probably went a bit overboard with this one. This level's probably the biggest difficulty spike in the game. There's 6 keys that you have to click along with the finish. The red quilt moves over them pretty awkwardly and also covers a lot of area. It's pretty easy to get tripped up on it, especially on the smaller ones that don't have a lot of room to click. If you're careful and look for openings in it, then it isn't as bad as it looks though. 19 combines timing the switch with timing the gray square. 20 takes advantage of the fact that you can't click on something if there's something else in front. To beat the level, you have to move the switches out from beneath each other. Level 21. You have one click. Time it well. 22 was made with a sort of clockwork theme in mind, and I like the way it came out. To beat the level, you have to spin the outside around to reveal the keys while avoiding the large hand that sweeps across. 23 is all about looking for openings. Keeping track of which rectangles cover which circles is useful for beating it. It's one of those levels that looks a lot worse than it actually is. Level 24 is definitely one of my favorites. The gimmick here is using the switches like arrow keys to move the opening and get the keys. I thought it was a really cool concept and it ended up being really fun to play as well. Overall, I'd call it my second favorite level in the game, because get ready for what level 25 looks like. I made a boss fight. In order to beat this level, you have to click the big circle 75 times, all while dodging the attacks that are sent your way. The attacks are all randomized, and there are 5 different variants that can be used. This level was probably the thing that took the longest to make in the game. It's also usually the level that takes the longest to beat, take a guess why. I'm really proud of the way it came out though. Since everything's randomized, you have to do a lot of improvising and really pay attention to when you have safe openings. There are a lot of opportunities for taking risks in order to get a bunch of clicks in, especially when trying to beat it fast. Once you get the counter down to 0, you beat the level and win the game. If you beat it from the very beginning, you'll get a special message saying it. It'll also display your time if you turned on the timer, and a special message if you beat it on 1 life mode. Here's me beating that, by the way. Alright, there it is. You'll also have all the levels unlocked in the level select by this point, so you can go back and play any of them. I decided I wanted to do some speedruns for this video, so here's a montage. Here's the best run I was able to get, but I'm sure that it's possible to go a lot lower. I'll probably leave that up to someone else though. And that's about it. If you feel like trying the game out for yourself, the link's once again in the description. Hope you enjoy it. If you did enjoy this video, feel free to give it a like, it really helps out. The explanation video will be coming eventually. Knowing me, it's going to be similar to the Math Final Boss video, where it's way more ambitious than I first expected and takes a while to get out. Hopefully it won't take 6 months though. Anyway, thanks for watching this video. I'll see you later. Hey, since you're still here, want a secret? Ending corner.